Have you ever just wondered what is really going on behind the scenes with those perfectly timed emails that land in your inbox? You know the ones. Well, today, we're pulling back the curtain, we're going beyond the magic to look at the machine. We're going to deconstruct the powerful world of email automation piece by piece with a true builder's guide.
I mean, you've totally been there, right? You're browsing a site, you find something you like, you add it to your cart, and then, life happens. You get distracted. And like an hour later, bing, an email pops up. How do they do that? Is there someone literally watching your every move?
Well, the answer, of course, isn't some person hiding in the bushes. It's a beautifully constructed, automated system that's just working silently in the background. So it's really less about magic and much more about a well-designed machine. And today, we're going to look at the instruction manual.
Okay, so here's how we're going to tackle this. We've laid out our journey in 4 main parts. First up, we'll open up the toolbox. That's the essential software. Then we'll look at the blueprint, the actual strategy behind it all. After that, we'll talk about the long game, how this builds relationships. And finally, we'll plug into the power grid, the technical stuff that makes it all work. Right, so every builder needs their tools, and when it comes to email automation, your starting point, your mission control, is something called an ESP, or Email Service Provider. So what exactly is an ESP? The easiest way to think about it is like a professional workshop. You could try to build a car in your garage with a wrench, but a real workshop has all the specialized equipment. An ESP handles all the heavy lifting for you, the servers, the delivery systems, the legal compliance, so you can just focus on the message. And you might be asking, why not just use my Gmail account? Well, using an ESP gives you basically 3 superpowers. First, deliverability, which makes sure your emails actually land in the inbox, not the spam folder. Second, compliance, so you don't accidentally break complex anti-spam laws. And third, advanced analytics, so you can see exactly what's working and what isn't. Now, not all tools are for the same job, right? ESPs are pretty specialized. You've got your transactional ones, which are perfect for just sending simple receipts or password resets. Then you have the marketing-focused platforms. Think things like MailChimp, which are awesome for your typical newsletters and campaigns. And then at the top, you have the big enterprise solutions like Salesforce, built for massive, really complex operations. All right, we've got our tools. Now we need the plan. So let's move on to the blueprint. This is where the real intelligence of the system lives. We're talking about workflows and triggers. You see, a workflow is basically just a series of if-then commands. If a subscriber does this, then the system automatically does that. The key here is that it's not a preset schedule. It's a reaction to what your audience is actually doing. And that makes the whole conversation incredibly relevant. And to see just how powerful this is, let's look at a huge problem in e-commerce. A staggering 70%, 70, of online shopping carts are abandoned before the purchase is made. I mean, that is a massive amount of lost revenue just sitting on the table. So here's the blueprint to fix it. It's a proven 3-email workflow that really leans on psychology. The first email, about an hour later, is just a gentle nudge while that item is still fresh in their mind. The second one, a day later, often adds social proof, like customer reviews, to build confidence. And the third, a few days after that, might offer a small discount or free shipping, creating that little bit of urgency to close the deal. And the impact of this? It's huge. A well-built workflow like this can recover anywhere from 10 to 15% of those lost carts. For a lot of businesses, that's not just a small win, that's a serious boost to their bottom line, and it's all running on autopilot. So here's the crucial point to remember. A workflow reacts to what a user does, like abandoning a cart. A drip campaign, on the other hand, is proactive. It's a pre-scheduled series of emails, like a 5-day welcome series that everyone gets on the same timeline. Both are useful for sure, but workflows are just way more dynamic and personal. But these automated systems, they aren't just for quick wins like recovering a cart. No, they are absolutely essential for playing the long game, for building deep, lasting relationships with your audience over time. A nurture sequence does exactly what it sounds like. It nurtures a lead. See, for bigger, more complex or expensive products, people need time and they need information. This automated sequence delivers valuable educational content that builds trust and gently guides them toward a decision, all without a heavy-handed sales pitch. And this process usually follows the classic buyer's journey. So in the awareness stage, you're providing helpful, high-level educational content. Then, in the consideration stage, you might offer case studies to show how your solution actually solves problems. And finally, in the decision stage, you use things like testimonials and really clear calls to action to help them make that final choice. Okay, so we've built our machine, we've got a smart plan, but there's one last, absolutely critical piece of the puzzle, the power grid. We have to make sure our messages actually get through. And this is all about something called deliverability. This quote really just says it all. You can have the most brilliant, persuasive, perfectly automated email in the world, but if it lands in the spam folder, it has zero value. It might as well not exist. Deliverability is everything. And deliverability isn't just one single thing. It's this whole complex ecosystem of factors. Things like your sender reputation, the content you're sending, and a few key technical protocols that basically prove to the internet that you are who you say you are. First up is something called SPF. Think of it like a public list of authorized drivers for your car. You publish this list, and it tells the world, hey, these are the only servers allowed to send email for my domain. If an email shows up from a server that's not on the list, the receiving computer gets pretty suspicious. Next up is DKIM. This one acts like a digital tamper-proof seal on a letter. It uses a kind of digital signature to verify that the email hasn't been altered or messed with on its way to the recipient. It ensures what they get is exactly what you sent. And finally, DMARC brings it all together. It's the rule book. It tells all the email servers out there what they should do if an email claims to be from you, but fails either the SPF or the DKIM check. Should they quarantine it? Should they reject it outright? DMARC is the enforcement policy. So to tie all this technical stuff together with a simple idea, just think of SPF, DKIM, and DMARC as your email's passport. When your email arrives at the border of an inbox, this passport proves that it is who it says it is, and that grants it safe passage to the inbox. So there you have it. We've journeyed from the toolbox to the blueprint, all the way through to the power grid. You now have the builder's guide to email automation. And the next time one of those perfect emails lands in your inbox at just the right moment, you won't see magic. You'll see the machine. So the only question left is, how will this change the way you look at your own inbox?